I saw someone create an actual move set for it as a meme, but the penguin from Club Penguin,
Oh no, dude.
dude, it would be a baller pick. You can't lie.
That would be pretty clever. You could have like the puffle, like those puffles as like its little sidekick just for
Yeah.
an attack. No, you all right? No, wait. Are there any are there any characters in there that actually come from television shows and not games?
No. So I believe it's. I believe Sakurai has said it. Sakurai, the
Yeah.
main dev for Smash Bros. I believe he said it, but I think it's also an unspoken rule. Is that any character that gets added to the game has to like originate from gaming,
Oh.
which is why people say why Goku can't get in.
Right.
They say, oh, Goku originated from anime, he can't get in. Which I'm pretty sure, like, if you pull up the entire Smash Bros. Roster, not one character in it has originated from something that wasn't a game.
I mean, what came first? Wait. For Pokemon, what came first, the game or the anime?
The game.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Or the one came first, the game or the trading card?
I think the game still.
Game still, right? Interesting. I mean, obviously this wouldn't be possible. Imagine having Finn and Jake from Adventure Time in Smash Bros.
See, I think that would be cool.
I think it'd be cool, but I feel like, I mean, the only unique attacks would be coming from Jake, because Finn just has a sword.
Yeah.
It would be just like any other, character with a sword, but it'd just be Jake making those, like, unique attacks.
Yeah, I feel like Jake would have a better chance. I do hope that they do open the door to adding more from, like, cartoons and anime. Not necessarily television, but, like, anime and cartoons,
Yeah.
Because, I mean, imagine they work with Nickelodeon and get SpongeBob in it.
Oh, man.
I mean, they could pull a lot of different characters. I mean, and there's still characters from gaming that still haven't gotten in that people are waiting for. I mean, people are waiting for Crash Bandicoot to still get in. People want Sora.
Right.
There's one character that people want in, but, like, the creator of that game says he can't be in it because that character doesn't hit women.
Oh.
Because you know how there's female fighters?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's literally one of the reasons why one character is essentially deconfirmed from the game is because he doesn't want his character in a game where, like,
Right.
you can fight women, essentially.
Right.
But, yeah. And then they had the presentation yesterday for Sephiroth, and Eddie and I were waiting the entire time trying to see, first off, we were going crazy because he literally looked super OP. And two, we waited till the very end to see if they were going to announce a new character, but sadly, no.
Oh.
They usually do that. They usually give us hints at the end about a new character, but this one time they didn't do it.
Right.
Anything else you want to talk about, Dom, before we move in to today's topic?
Also want to mention that news about Cyberpunk 2077. Crazy.
Yeah. It came out finally.
It came out, but it was taken down in less than 2 weeks. For those who don't know, I mean, Cyberpunk was a game that I've been waiting for 8 years, 8 entire years. It came out as one of the most buggiest, most glitchiest games that came out for old gen consoles, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. The internet went pretty wild when they got their games, early, the 10th of December, to find out that their games have simply run really bad, and started issuing refunds to the point where Sony decided to, take down the game entirely from the source, so you can't buy the digital version of it anymore, because there was just so many complaints, too many complaints. Like the game is absolutely beautiful when on the new gen consoles and on PC, but it's gotten to the point where even IGN gave the game 4.0.
Yeah.
Literally lower than like No Man's Sky and Fallout 76. which were even horrible games at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I mean, I'm still gonna get it, but I think the funny thing is here that I ordered it through Amazon. My game right now is all the way in Virginia to be shipped over here in California.
Oh wow!
And I could have just went to my local GameStop and just pre-ordered it there, but you know.
True.
But I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And before we get into today's topic, I also want to mention the Game Awards. Shout out to Among Us. For those of you who don't know, Among Us only has a 4-person dev team, and so they won Best Mobile Game. And when they showed them, you can tell how excited they were. It was the 3 people, and then they had the 4th developer on FaceTime on their phone. But more shout out for me is that they won Best Multiplayer of 2020.
Oh, interesting.
Which to me, I give them a shout out and a nod because a 4-person dev team beat out games with probably that have hundreds of people working on their development team.
That is true. Yeah.
And sure, you can say that Among Us doesn't require as much as those games, but still, 4 people beating out 100. 4 people creating one of the biggest games of the summer this year, despite coming out 2 years earlier.
That is true, yeah.
I gotta give them props to that.
I mean, you had other multiplayer. I mean, I'm surprised they beat out like other multiplayer games.
They beat out Warzone, dude.
They beat out Warzone. They beat out Genshin Impact, also another mobile and like a other platform game.
Mm-hmm.
What other games did they beat? The majority of battle royale games.
Mm-hmm.
Even Fortnite themselves. That's insanity right there.
Mm-hmm.
A little 4 dev team beat out an entire company.
And not only that, they've been staying relevant, especially if you look at how many people will be watching Among Us like on Twitch and on YouTube. The game is far from dead, especially because they announced a new map is coming out. And not only that, it's out on the Switch now, and now it's apparently going to be coming out for Xbox in 2021.
Xbox? Interesting.
So they're making big moves. Especially because they were going to come out with Among Us 2, but because of how popular the game was, they canceled that so that they can work on the first Among Us.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. But, so, we'll move on to today's topic, which is, it's always been an idea since when we started this. I brought it up to Dominic saying, oh, this can be like a little mini-series, like we've done other little mini-series on this. And when we were doing the recording for the WWE event last time, so Mr. Solis challenged me because what was brought up as a reference in that event. He challenged me to explain this WWE storyline to Dominic, which I guess you could say kicks off the miniseries now. That me, a wrestling fan, having to explain something that happens in wrestling to a non-wrestling fan in Dominic. So, the storyline he proposed was the higher power. Now, Dominic, when you hear this, what do you think of?
I think of people with higher power, with corporates and money and rich and wealth.
All right, so I'll get into it. So, I believe this started in 1999 in the WWE, of course, then known as the WWF.
Right.
So, the Undertaker, the undead, what would you even call him? Mortician, I guess you could say, is the best way to explain what his character was,
Right.
This big evil character. He forms this faction, which is like a group of people, and he called it the Ministry of Darkness, right?
Right.
And so him and these people, they claim to be working for a higher power. And this higher power was directing them to target Vince McMahon, the whole boss, owner of WWE, right?
Right.
And so, working for this higher power, the Undertaker begins to go after Vince, trying to scare him and stuff, and trying to, I guess in a sense, get something out of him,
Right.
Because, to scare him, he, the Undertaker has a specific symbol, and so he, had this big symbol on his lawn, and then, it was lit on fire to scare Vince.
Oh,
And then at one of their pay-per-views, the Undertaker kidnaps Vince's daughter named Stephanie.
Oh.
And it's one of the most memorable things just because of kind of how bad it was. She steps into a car, and it's like, you know, the limos where they have like the window blocking off where the driver is?
Yeah.
So she gets into the car and no one bothers to check who the driver was. She gets in, the door's locked, and the thing comes down and it's him saying, "Where to, Stephanie?" as he drives off and she's screaming trying to get out. And that's how like the pay-per-view ended. And so everyone was like, okay. And so the next night on Monday Night Raw, the weekly show for WWE, he comes out and Undertaker is saying that he plans to marry Vince's daughter, right?
Right.
And so then it's interrupted by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Have you heard of Stone Cold Steve Austin, Dominic?
Yeah.
Okay, so for those other wrestling fans that don't know, Stone Cold Steve Austin's whole character was that essentially he was a badass Texan who didn't give a damn about anything. And he was, in terms of WWE, he was Vince McMahon's biggest rival. You know, the two were always going at it.
Right.
You know, the boss going, or the anarchist going after the boss. But still, he came out to save the boss's daughter. Because, you know, he's still the good guy, you know.
Right.
But so then, essentially, that was the last straw for Vince. And the Ministry of Darkness comes out with a hooded figure that is said to be the higher power. And so, like, Vince appears on the Titantron and says, like, you know, because he said he wasn't going to be coming out to the ring, you know. He said that he would just stay backstage and watch the reveal of this higher power. And that, like, the higher power agreed that he would reveal himself. Now, Dominic, as an outsider perspective, what do you think would be the most logical case for who the higher power would be?
Like the buffiest, most hunkiest man.
Alright. But also, what do you think, who, like, in a general sense, who do you think would be the perfect higher power in terms of their reasoning, you know, wanting to go after Vince?
Who would be the person?
Well, not who, because you don't know the roster.
Right.
But, like, in a general sense, like, who do you think it would be, like, you know, to, like, target Vince McMahon, the boss? Like, in a general sense, what would be your guess?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I mean, I would just be imagining some, like, sort of, you know, maniac psychopath willing to annihilate anyone in their path.
Right. Or, like, you know, someone who maybe was wronged by Vince, you know, going back to our villain talk. Remember, someone maybe who was wronged and wanted vengeance, you know?
Right.
Right? Now, what do you think would be the least logical person to be the higher power?
Like a person who, like, super innocent and is, like, you know, small, I guess. Like,
okay, so that kind of makes sense. But the person who turned out to be the higher power is even more illogical than that.
Oh.
So I'll see if you can guess it. The hooded figure removes his hood, and the statement he makes is, "It was me, Austin. It was me all along." Who do you think it could have been?
Who could it have been? I would say, I don't know what I'd say.
You ready to hear this? It's the most illogical thing in the world.
Tell me.
The hood figure pulls off his hood, and as he says that, it's revealed to be Vince McMahon.
Oh.
Literally makes no sense in the world as to why he would want his own daughter kidnapped, why he would want to be targeted by the Undertaker and his faction. Makes no sense at all. But his reasoning for it was to make a fool out of the fans and Stone Cold Steve Austin. And in his words, he had to teach